Hello everyone. I welcome you all. Good afternoon to you all, wherever you are joining in from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I welcome you to the Pick Parents Academy channel here on YouTube. My name is Ekia Safo, and I am the co-founder of Pick Parents Academy. And if you are new, you may be wondering what is PIC. PIC means Positive Intentional Conscious Parents Academy, and we help parents. We educate parents. We teach them the right skills to be able to raise wholesome children. That is what we do. And today is another day. I welcome you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. Yes, you can also share the link to other parents, your friends, family. I always say something that if your friends know what you know, parenting will actually be easy. If those around you, if your family know what you know, parenting will be easy for you. So you want to share with your friends, with your family, anyone that you think that watching this, this class will be helpful to. You want to share with them. Now, today we are going to talk about how trauma stays with us and affects us as adults. Yes, affects us in our adult life. We are going to have this session with a very good friend of mine. She's called Onyisi. She's a certified trauma coach. If you were at a parents' conference, you will know, how it went. We had a session in one of our sessions. She joined us. So that is what she's going to take this today's class with us. And most of the time, when we say trauma, it entails a lot. All the challenges, okay, we face in our parenting, even in our lives, you could trace them back to the traumas, the things we went through, even the things that we were supposed to experience that we didn't experience. We didn't have the opportunity to experience these things in one way or the other affect us. So you want to really take this class very seriously and watch to the end. So I want to invite my friend here so that she can take it up. She is Oni, and she's a certified trauma therapist who specializes in helping, women and every other men, women who struggle with the feeling of inadequacy and pain and unhealed wounds. That is what she specializes in. So I would want to invite her to the stage so that we can move on with today's class. Yeah, hello, sis.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Steve. It's an honor to be
Good
here.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
yes,
It's an
yes. We are
honor
also
to be
very glad.
here.
We feel honored. We feel honored to have you here. I've already
Thank
introduced
you.
her to you. I've
Okay.
introduced you,
Okay.
so I think you can go on with the session, the class today.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Life. I've heard a lot of people say adulthood. Okay, can you hear me? Can someone hear me? Am I audible enough? Please, if you
I
can
can
hear me,
hear
let
you.
me know.
Yes,
Oh,
I can hear
okay,
you.
okay. All right. Okay. So, I've heard a lot of people say that adulthood is a scam. Then someone went ahead to sing it in a song, right? But the thing is that no one promised us that adulthood would be a smooth sail. Nobody promised us that it would be like childhood. Nobody informed us that that there are a lot of responsibilities that that's required of us in adulthood, right? So that's why when we are faced with things, we get so overwhelmed. Now, the thing is that when you have a lot of responsibilities, you feel, oh, so there's this burden. Not to talk of when you have some limiting beliefs, when you have some challenges that are beneath your control, right? There are some things you can control. There are some challenges that will come to you. You know where they are coming from. You know what you can do, right? You're seeing it. You know that this is it. But there are some challenges that when they come, you don't even know where they're coming from. Okay? You can't say, okay, this is the reason why this is happening. And trauma, unresolved trauma, is one of those challenges, right? It's one of those reasons, it's one of the reasons why when we are faced with challenges, when we are faced with things, we get so worked up. We don't know where they are coming from because we have not become aware of what is going on. Okay, now when we from our childhood, we go into we become young adults, thankfully, who the parents are still taking care of. Now when you become a full grown adult who is ready, or who is in the stage of taking care of other people, who is in that stage of taking up responsibilities, we find it difficult to face them or handle those challenges. Now, when I want people to understand that trauma, let us stop misusing. Trauma happens, yes, but where the problem is, like you said, sees that trauma isn't just what happened to you. It is also those things that ought to have happened to you but did not. You did not get them. So at some point in your life, it will come as a challenge. They will come as obstacles, right? And you don't know where they're coming from. Okay, so unresolved trauma. That's why I always love to use that word unresolved, because trauma can be resolved. Yeah, I had trauma. I had childhood trauma. Okay, and I've resolved them, right? But unresolved trauma are those ones that you have not even gotten into. You don't know where they're coming from. Okay, now it does not just happen to our mind, it happens to our body, our emotions, the way we see, we see ourselves and the world, right? So trauma happens not just in our mind, it happens in our body, it happens in how we display our emotions and how we see ourselves and the world. And the most important one is how we see ourselves, because that's where the problem is. When we tackle that one, then others are secondary, right? Now, how does trauma stay with us? How does trauma stay with us? Trauma can stay in our brain. A lot of us do not know. Trauma can stay in our brain. And, the thing is that when something painful happens, what it does is that the brain stores it in a different way, right? It doesn't store it as the normal memory. That's what happens. It stores it in a different way because it can't classify where is this thing coming from. But the thing is that it stores information, whether good or bad. That's what the brain does. So it stores it in a different way. Now, that part of the brain, the amygdala, that handles how we react. That's another place. That's one of the places our unresolved trauma are being stored. Now, this place is where it makes us become anxious. It makes us become jumpy when something happens. You know, when we have heart, palpitations and all that. That's where it's been affected. All right, we are constantly worried. When things happen to us, especially in our childhood or even in our adulthood, because unresolved trauma can happen in our adulthood, and if we don't handle them, they are still unresolved trauma. So when these things happen, it affects the amygdala, which handles how we react to things. Then another place the trauma stays in our brain is the hippocampus. This is where it handles, it makes us become confused. Now, when I went through, when I was still going through, and I've not really resolved my trauma, here, this one really, 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 really affected me, right? Because you'll be struggling to separate the past from the present, right? You I tend to overreact to things that even things that remind me of the past. I tend to overreact. I couldn't say this is the reason why. Because the brain had already stored this part of the hippocampus, have already stored everything that happened to me. So in my adulthood, when I react to things, somebody will be like, why is she? Right? That's the brain bringing up things that it has stored as, in a different way. Right now, when we get to the one we call the prefrontal cortex, yeah. So this is where what happens when we think, logically, rationally, when we think clearly. This is where the thing happens. This is the part of the brain that handles them. Now, when trauma affects that part, we lose that sense of, of thinking clearly. We find it hard when something, maybe when we are faced with our triggers, we don't think logically, we think irrationally. This is where it happens. Sometimes for some people they just shut down, right? They shut down immediately. They can't stay calm. For some people, you see them, they're all over the place, they are jumping up and down, they are yelling, they are shouting. These are the things, right? You can't even make good decisions. So this is what happens in the brain. So when you see someone, especially parents, when you see parents who overreact to things their children do, this is what is going on. It is not normal. That's not the way you are. Something is happening here. Your brain is processing that thing in a different way because it has not stored the memory you had in a normal way. It's different. That's why we react to the way we react when things happen, right? So this is the way you will know that, okay, trauma, when it happened, it did not just, you know happen and it's in the past. No, it's still here because our brain have processed that information, the memory, and it has stored it in an abnormal way. So when we are faced with the same thing that happened in the past, the brain brings up, okay, this is the way you will react to this thing because that's the information it has stored. So it is not normal. Now, the second thing is place the trauma stay with us is in our body. All right, in our body. Now, even if we don't do it consciously, we don't think of our trauma consciously, our body remembers that at some point that so and so happens. And how do they? You see, some people they complain. I've read of two people who complained of anxiety on Facebook just for today. These are the ones that I came by. What of people who do not want to speak it out? What of people who prefers to hide what they are going through, right? So if we don't remember, our body remembers. That's why we feel tension. We feel tensions. For some people, it will be headache. Like, I don't know where this headache is coming from. I don't know. This maybe you might have faced a trigger, and there's this feeling that you have that will bring this instant headache to you. That's your trauma because you're faced with that trigger, and your body is reacting to that thing, right? Your body is reacting to it. For some people, it's chronic pains, arthritis, stomach ache, um, you know, heaviness on the shoulder, tension. Some muscles become strong, right? Some muscles become strong. These are the ways. Then, for some people, they feel restless. They feel restless. For some people, they become anxious. Every little thing that happens, anxiety takes over. For some, they are easily overwhelmed. I have been there, right? I have been there, easily overwhelmed. Just a little thing. mm? Then, for some, it can be shutting down their emotions. They shut it down. Even when they like someone, they will never admit that they like. They will never say I love you to someone. They find it hard, even if it's a platonic relationship. Because girlfriends, we say I love you to each other, right? But some people cannot say it. When you say it, they are looking at you somehow. That's their trauma, showing in the body. Now, for some people, they will just numb their emotion, right? They numb it. They will never show. They won't cry. You will see them happy. You will see them sad. You won't know what this person is feeling at this particular point in time. When something happens to that person, the person, you will expect that person to jump up, to leap. Wow, wow, yeah. You'll be the one expressing those emotions. It will be like it's your win, while it's the other person's win. And the person will tell you, I don't know how to show emotions. It looks as if they are downplaying it. These are ways unresolved trauma are being stored in our body, right? Then I've had a client who complained of not sleeping well, of not sleeping well. She will tell you that she's easily tired. These are the ways. So when we see those things, let us not think, okay, they are normal. They are not normal. They are not the way you are. It is not your makeup. It is not in your DNA. Something happened, right? Something happened. Okay. So when we've looked at the brain, how um the unresolved trauma are stored in the brain. We've looked at how they are being stored in the body. Remember, I said they are stored in the brain, in our body, and how we show our emotions, right? How we see ourselves, how we see the world. Now, when it comes to our emotions, it is how we see ourselves, right? How you see ourselves, your self worth, and your self worth gives birth to your self esteem. Self worth gives birth to self esteem. Self worth is what happens on the inside. So when you see yourself and you feel, okay, my worth is here, then your esteem shows on the outside, because it is what you think on the inside that will show on the outside, right? So when your self worth is low, then your self esteem will be affected. So self worth happens internally, then self esteem happens externally, right? Now, it unresolved trauma also, stays in our how it shapes our self worth, it shapes our beliefs, and this is where it gets, hold of us, that a lot of people are just being, pushed from one end to the other, right? This is what is really, really affecting a lot of us. Sometimes we blame the our village people. No, but this is what we have unconsciously told ourselves over a long period of time, and we believe it. So when you tell yourself things, when people say it, you believe it, you tell yourself you believe it, and that you run with it, right? So unresolved trauma leads to negative thoughts. It leads to negative thoughts about ourselves, about the world. And we have believed in that so much. And someone would ask, how do you know? How do you know? I was once there, right? You tell yourself, I am not capable. I am not worthy. I cannot do this, right? That I am not that intelligent to pull off something, to push it till it becomes a reality. You tell yourself that I am not worthy to receive love. You tell yourself that it is my fault, right? You tell yourself that all these things happening, it's my fault. It's my fault that nobody likes me. It's my fault that all these things that have happened. You blame yourself. You believe that. You tell yourself negative things. You believe in those negative beliefs, and they shape your path. And you don't have any other path to follow, right? You don't have any other, because that's what you tell yourself every day. And that's why, words of affirmation, it's so important, because what it does is that it starts to change those negative beliefs. You start to see yourself in a different, you know, from a different angle. You start to see a different person. All right. So this belief they can be ingrained deeply. Okay, sorry for the yeah. So they can be ingrained deeply in our mind. It changes our mindset. It affects our choices. It affects our relationship, the people we hang out with, right? It affects how we choose our friends. Anybody that comes by, you call the person a friend without even knowing, do our values, do they, align, right? It affects our happiness. It steals our joy. Unresolved trauma, these negative beliefs, they steal our happiness, they steal our joy. And if you're not happy, how can the next person be happy beside you? Because for some people, if they are not happy, the person next to them won't be happy, right? If I'm sad, you must be sad, especially some bosses. When they see you laughing and smiling, they'll be like, what's good? And when you greet them, what's good about this afternoon? Right? These are the things, because we have allowed our unresolved trauma to shape our thoughts. Now, when these things happen, especially as children, when these things happen to us, while as children grow, they form they develop, then their mindsets are being formed based on their environment, right? Based on the people they see. They form based on what they hear, what they see, what is being played out, how they are being treated. So that's why when you look at the chronic or the complex or the acute trauma, the complex trauma, which is the childhood trauma, is the most subtle and the most dangerous of them all. And the thing is that someone can suffer from chronic trauma or acute trauma and also suffer from childhood trauma, right? So imagine when a child experiences maybe a natural disaster, maybe or war in his or her community, then leaves the place, moves to another place, you know that that thing has been ingrained in that person. That person experienced the war or the flooding or the accident or the witnessing a suicide or something like that. Like there's a story, not even a story, something that happened. A man burnt the wife, right? A man burnt the wife, and the children were there. It was all over the news, right? Um, the newsmen they came to their house to interview the older ones, and people were thronging to their house. They are seeing all these things, they are hearing them, but what happens is that we tend to focus on what is going on without thinking of what those kids are going through. When I followed the story, but my heart went out to those children. It's not about, oh, the father killed the mother. This what they have gone through, what their body is feeling at that point in time, what is being formed, the image in their mind, the mental image they formed. So these are the things. Now imagine somebody witnessing that, will I call right? Now coming to to growing up into an adult, coming to a city or another country, and remember, for the father to kill the mother, there must have been, domestic violence. There must have been physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, right? Going on before it moved to the extent of killing the woman. Now, all these things, the children have been seeing them, the children have been witnessing. So these things have been forming in their mind that maybe it's okay. It's okay to beat your wife. It's okay to fight with your husband. It's okay to it's okay to verbally abuse your wife, right? It's okay to exchange words with your husband. Now, seeing the death, can you imagine what these children must have gone through, still going through? But we center on the story, but without thinking of how do we help these children because they are traumatized. Now, when that person grows into an adult, one for the girls there, they would think it's okay to stay in an abusive relationship, right? For the men, they would think it's okay to treat not to treat my wife well, right? It's okay to hit my wife. It's okay to display all this um um all these things in front of the kids. It's okay. Now we are forming another set of people who will carry on that pattern, who wouldn't want to break that barrier, those unhealthy patterns. So when it comes to our adult life, it's important for us to know that as an adult, I'm about to take up responsibilities, right? I'm about to take up responsibilities. And what are those responsibilities? It can be raising kids. It can be setting up a firm where I can employ people. Now, how will our behavior, what will our behavior be? How are we going to exhibit all these things?
Because the thing is that we can hide them, but for a while, we can mask whatever we are going through. We can cover up whatever we are going through with our wigs, with our makeups, with our, you know, fashion sense and all that. But the thing is that what's going on the inside? What's going on the inside? When you get home, what's going on in your family? What's your relationship like with your wife and your children, with your employees? These are the things we need to start, ask. These are the questions we need to start looking into for us to become aware of our input in the society. As adults, we have huge responsibility. Adulthood is not a scam, it's a reality. It's reality. We have to get to that point. But the thing is that what are we going to show, right? What are we going to churn out? What kind of children are we going to raise? So the essence of all these things is for us to do, to assess, do self-assessment, become aware of the things that are not serving us, right? Become aware of the things that are not, positive in our lives. We look at our personal lives, we look at our relationship with others, we look at our, our home. What do people say about us? Sometimes we say, oh, what people think about me, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It matters. Because we are going to raise people who will take the next generation. That's why we see a lot of parents who their kids are at the tender age, they are turning into what we don't know, because we have not equipped, we have not resolved the fight, that war going on internally. We have not come to the point of saying enough is enough. We have not come to that point where we say, okay, this is it. This is where the problem is. When we are being, criticized in a, in a rational way, how do we react? Right? Coach Wendy would also say that discipline is not an emergency. How do we apply that when we are raising our kids? How do we apply that when we are dealing with our employees? Now, how does trauma affect our adult life? We have seen how it stays with us. It stays with us in our brain, in our body, and it shapes how we we shape how we talk to, we see ourselves, our self-worth, and how we relate with others, and how we see the world. Because a lot of us believe that the world is it's not a better place, that the world is so wicked, that the world is mean. Right? So now, how does unresolved trauma affect our adulthood? One, it's emotional struggles. Emotional struggle. Now, I talked about anxiety, being anxious, overthinking, overthinking. Those are one of the ways. You overthink, you're always feeling on edge, you're always on alert. There was a woman that was saying, she said that whenever she sees a call from her kids school, that she concludes that something has gone wrong. She doesn't want to know why they're calling you just conclude that something has gone wrong. Then for some parents, they don't like their children to play outside. They will tell, oh, they will injure themselves. Oh, this one will happen to them. Oh, this one will happen to them. They will break an arm. They will break their leg. We are living based on fear. We are anxious. We are overthinking. Because obviously there's nothing there that will shows that this child would injure. It's just sand, right? We worry. We worry. Yeah? We worry. What will happen now? What's going on? What's going on with my husband? What's going on with my wife? What's going on with the children? The children, they're in school. Have they eaten? You are at home or at work? Oh, how would I live tomorrow? You are not done living for today. Oh. You're thinking about tomorrow. What will I wear tomorrow? What would you wear? When would this happen? What would happen? What? We're always expecting the worst. You see someone driving and they'll be thinking, oh, it's possible that I can have an accident when in the next 5 minutes. Don't think I'm just making all these things up. These are things people tell me that they go through. That they believe that once they drive out, have you seen someone that doesn't like driving? It's not because they don't want to drive. It's not because they don't have a car, but they believe that they will die in a car accident when they drive. So they don't want to drive. They don't want to go into that car and drive it by them. They rather tell someone or, enter an Uber or Bolt. So these are the ways. Now, another one is depression. This is the cocoa, like this one dealt with me. You see, depression and low self-worth and esteem. Oh my goodness. If as parents we can get hold of this and change it in where our children are, it will go a long way. You see, depression, it's real. But the thing is that a lot of people are depressed, but they do not want to say it out. What will people say? How will they see me? How will happen? What will happen? Let me use that word. What will happen to my steez? Right? They don't want people to know what they are going through. So in the morning, we adorn ourselves with the best of the best, right? And we move out. And we go out there, we put on the smile, we smile, we wave. But when you come back, when you are in your space, it rears its head. You cannot make away with it. You cannot shift it, except you deal with that thing. I could not handle my own to the point that I had to tell my husband that I was depressed. But he thought I was joking. We laughed it off. Till I made up my mind to seek help. So depression is real. It affects our self-esteem, our self-worth. I wouldn't be here talking to you people, right? But because healing has happened and still happening, right? You feel so unworthy. You tell yourself that you're not worthy. You see people winning and you tell yourself, I cannot do this. Can you imagine? I want us to think about all these things. You tell yourself that I cannot do this thing. Can you imagine what we tell ourselves? That I'm not worthy. If you're not worthy, who is worthy? That person you think that is worthy. Does the person have two heads? No. But it's because we have heard from people who were supposed to protect us, people who were supposed to shield us. They use demeaning words on us. We think, oh, what else? Since my father says it, who else? It's true. Since my mother says it, it's true. So when we get to school as children, you see it happening. You tell yourself, I cannot solve this maths. It's true. I don't even have the mind. I'm not that intelligent to solve this. I'm a failure. And we run with it. You feel so hopeless. There's no hope, no iota of hope. You feel that you're a failure, that whatever your hand finds to do must fail. Oh, I did it the other time, it failed. The other time I helped the other person, it failed, that thing failed. Anything I touch must fail. I cannot do anything. I was listening to a radio program on Sunday, yeah, every 8 o'clock in the morning. So the pastor comes up, he preaches and all that. Then people call in. So a guy called in. He called himself an evangelist. He did not say, I'm a barrister. He did not say, I'm a law, I'm a doctor. He did not say, I'm an engineer. He called himself an evangelist. And who is an evangelist? An evangelist is that person that goes out there to win souls for Christ. An evangelist is that it's one of the 5, offices in the Bible. So an evangelist, and when you read evangelist, is the person that wins the soul and brings it. Then the pastor shepherds the soul. Now, an evangelist calling in to say that he is depressed. Nothing is working. I have no hope. These were his exact words. So he was asking the man of God if he can pray for him. Now, this is where we get it wrong. I'm sorry to say, but this is where Christians, do we know who we are as Christians? Do we know what God has equipped us with? Do we know that we have the mind of Christ in us? Now, asking someone to pray for him because he's depressed, no amount of prayer, if we don't solve that thing, the thing is that God cannot do for you what you can do for yourself. As I'm speaking now, there's somebody, if the person is not here, the person will still come across this video. God is waiting for you to take that first step. You're hearing this and you become self-aware that this is the problem. This thing that happened, that event that happened as a child is the reason why this is happening now. God wants you to connect the dots. When you connect the dot, it will lead you to your solution. Now, that's why programs like this, that's why, webinars like this come up. So when you pray, oh, God help me, God help me. I'm so depressed. This has been, disturbing me. This has been happening. God says, okay, my child, right? Now, as you're scrolling, the video pops up. You take your time, you listen, and your pain point is being addressed. And the solution is being provided, yet you won't do it. Tomorrow you go back, God help me, God. No, God cannot do for you what you can do for yourself. God doesn't want us to be depressed. I got to know why in my healing journey, right? And that makes us to be stuck in a place. We don't want to move. We're just there. We don't want to take any step. We don't want to do anything because we have been telling ourselves, we have told ourselves that we will fail. And when you do that thing, you will fail. It's true. When you do it, because you believed it, you will put in an effort. Even when you make mistakes, you can't say, okay, let me just, re-strategize. Let me do it this way. Okay, I made a mistake the other time. Let me do it this way. You start writing a book, and along the way, you feel, oh, ideas are not dropping. I don't know what to do. No, I cannot finish this. You dump it. You start up a course or you go back to school. Along the way, you drop out because one of the courses there, maybe a 4-credit load, you cannot deal with it at that point in time. Challenges come, but we face it. Square, like bam, 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 we deal with it. Now, another way is the guilt, the shame. We blame ourselves for everything, even things that are not our fault. We blame ourselves. Now, let me tell us how that thing happens. Now, when something bad happens, the brain will search, the brain will search for a reason. The brain will search for a reason. What? Now, if the brain doesn't find a clear reason, our mind will turn to look for a solution. Our mind will turn to look for a reason. There must be a reason why this. And we come up, maybe it's my fault. Now you find a child, whose parents are divorced. The child would be like, had it been, maybe if I had been better, this wouldn't have happened. Right? If I had been better, this wouldn't have happened. My parents wouldn't have been divorced. It's my fault. Because the brain knows it's not your fault. You did nothing. But because you have sought, what is it? What is it? What can be the problem? It comes up, your mind comes up with this idea. It's my fault because I misbehaved. Right? Because I misbehaved. Now, for somebody who is a survivor, of abuse, the person will be like, had it been I behaved differently? And that's why when sometimes when especially pastors, I don't intervene, right? That's one thing with healing. If the client doesn't accept at first, there's no way you can help somebody who doesn't want to help him or herself. Now, pastors go into to intervene. You see the woman saying, no, it's because of what I did. I behaved badly. That's why he hits me. They find excuse. It's because of what I said. I shouldn't have said that, right? It did not come out well. That's why he hits me. That's your mind telling you that because the brain can't find anything. Now, for someone who is cheated, who has been cheated on, you say, oh, maybe because I wasn't attractive, maybe because I'm fat, maybe because I'm too slim, because I'm not beautiful, I don't wear makeup, maybe because I don't make my hair. No. You blame yourself for everything, every little thing, anything that happens. It's my fault. No, don't worry. No, it's okay. It's my fault. I take the blame. You're doing that just for peace to reign, but you're killing yourself. No, it's okay. I'm so sorry. Every little thing you apologize. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I take it. I take it. Now, God help you if you jam a narcissist as a partner. Okay? Now, another way is emotional outbursts. Have you ever seen someone who overreacts? You'll be thinking, what's that? is this person acting this way? Is it because of this thing that I say? These are unresolved trauma speaking. For some people, it's unprovoked anger. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. You just say, I'm angry. Maybe the two of you are maybe in the sitting room, watching TV or doing something. The person will just turn everything around. Anger, raising up voices, hitting, throwing things, stomping out of the house, unprovoked anger. It's not normal. These are unresolved trauma rearing their heads in our adult life. And mind us, whatever we do, people are watching. People are watching. Somebody is watching. Your kids are watching. Your employees are watching. Your friends are watching. Your partner is watching. Everybody's watching. Your neighbors, everybody. You cannot hide it. I am sorry. But that's what, we tell ourselves, no, I'm packaging it well. I'm packaging it well. No, we are not. You see the person shut down completely. What's the problem? Nothing. Did anybody look for your problem? No. Why is your face like this? Nothing. I just want to be alone. I just want to be on my own. I don't want anybody around me. I just want to be alone. Right? Another way can be relationship struggle. You find yourself, oh, this person will leave me. I don't want this person to leave me. I don't want this person to leave me. You become clingy every time. Hello, you did not call me. You did not call me. How are you? Have you eaten? No, you did not call me. You said you will call. You did not call. Eh? Because you don't want to be left alone. Maybe growing up, maybe your mother or your father left. It can affect us. When a father is not active in the life of a child, it can affect that child. If a father or a mother is not present in the life of a child, it affects the child. Now, when you grow up, you're married, you're busy following your husband or your wife up and down, monitoring them, putting tracker in their phones, knowing who they are calling at every point in time. These are unresolved trauma speaking. We find it difficult to trust people. You can never trust anybody. Even if you go into a business, even if you invest 1,000 naira, you would want to know how the person spent the kobo down to the last kobo. You're calling, you're checking up ahead. Okay, what expenses have you run? Okay, how's that thing doing? The next 5 minutes you're calling again, asking the same question. For some people, there's a client I had, betrayal. Say, I know, I have this feeling. Ma, I have this feeling. I have this feeling. I have this feeling that he will betray me. Oh no, you are assuming. Say, no, I know. I have this feeling. I have this feeling. Oh, unresolved trauma is real. And it is taking a toll on us. It is disorganizing us. It is spoiling a lot of things, right? Then there's these unhealthy patterns. You see something that is not normal, you say, no, it's normal. It's normal. You see children cursing each other, adults cursing, using curse words, it's normal. No, it's normal. There's nothing wrong. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong because our mouth are meant to bless and not to curse. Everything is wrong about it. That's not how you are. It's not in your DNA. It's not in your, you shut people out. You don't want people to come close before they see what they're not supposed to see. You cannot keep real friends. When you see real friends, you chase them away. There are a lot self-sabotage. Yeah? Self-sabotage. You feel that, I've said it before, you don't feel that you're worthy of becoming successful. You don't find it worthy. You always like to please people. You neglect your own needs. You neglect your needs. You put others first in every situation, in any situation. There's my friend. She's the last born in her family. Now she will always tell me, oh, this my sister called me. I had to give her some so and so. This person called. I had to be, and I don't have anything at the end of the day. She receives her salary. This is how she will just share everything out. The next, oh, I've not paid for my kids' school fees. I've not bought this one. I don't have this one. I don't have that one. She will give. And she will run to me. I don't have this. I don't know how to say no to them. They are my sisters. Like a lot of us are like that. People pleasing. You know you are tired. You know you don't have the strength, that what your body is telling you that it needs now is just for you to go to your bed, lay down and rest. A call comes in. Oh, please, can you come to so and so place? Can you help me? There's a place I want to go. Can you get your car? Let us go. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I'm coming. Then you drop the call and you do, because you cannot say no. You can't say no. You can't tell the person, oh dear, I would have loved to help you out, but I'm on my bed now. I really need to rest. I just came back. I've had a hectic day. And the person could, oh, please just do it for me. Can you just please, sorry, can we do this next time? Can we do this next time? Please, I'm so sorry. I can't help you out right now. You drop the call and you rest, because that's what your body needs. But no, you put on your clothes, you drive off. And the person will take you to where you know you are not supposed to be. Nothing concerns you there. The person will do his or her business and you drive the person back. Oh, thank you so much. You're a darling. You're an angel. You come back. By the time everything, you're tired and time is gone. Maybe your child will need you to help him or her with the assignment. And now you're helping your child with the assignments. You're shouting, you're hitting that child. You're transferring that aggression to your child. So learn to say no when you really need to say no. And say yes when you have to say yes. Do not look at anybody. It is not normal to say no when you mean to say yes. Or to say yes when you are long. Okay. When you see yourself doing that, know that something is wrong. Something is wrong. You feel like, oh, I must be perfect. I must get this thing. This has to be perfect. Perfectionism. I have to be perfect. I have to. My A needs to be like A. I must get this. Oh, if it's yellow, it must be yellow. And the thing when we don't get it, we face our children. Now, a child who is in in an exam class, maybe 6th grade.
6th grade, or about to write the junior WAEC or senior WAEC, and the strength of your child, the child's strength. But because your neighbor, the child is naturally intelligent, your neighbor's child naturally, like the child won't even read. It's a 100%, 60. Now your child who needs to sit down, right? Pick up his or her notes, read, not just reading to understand. Who needs the time, like 2 hours, for him or her to get that thing and and allow it to stick? You start pushing that child because you want that child to be perfect. You enroll that child in all those exams because your neighbor has enrolled his or her child in all the exams, both international exams, external exam, every exam. You enroll your child and you're pushing that child. When your child gets 80 and the other child gets 100, you push your child, you say a lot of things. You abuse your child just because that your child did not get 100% like the other child. Oh, you must be proper, prim and proper. You must walk this way. You must sit this way. You must do this. You have to be perfect. When you're ironing your clothes, you have to do it this way. You have to, fold the clothes like this. You press it 3 times. You fold it like this. You press it 6 times. You count it. You're pushing that child. You want him or her to be perfect. That's the problem. You compare yourself to other people. You compare yourself to other people. You're digging a hole you can't fill up. A hole has already been dug, right? In your childhood. Your parents, your caregivers, whoever have already dug that hole, right? You've experienced, hurtful things and bad experiences. They are there already. Now, when you get to adulthood, what is left for you to do is to heal. If you do not heal, there is no headway. Now, you can be moving, you can, look, well accomplished, you can be at the peak of your career and everything, but your attitude, your behavior, your character, they matter. Your values, they matter. People are watching. So you can have the money, you can have everything, but you are not happy. You are depressed. You're not happy with yourself. Now, the one I want to talk about is unhealthy coping mechanisms. You see, a lot of people are abusing substances. A lot of people, even the people we think they are doing well, they are well accomplished, they are okay, they are celebrities, they are this one. They abuse substances because they are looking for what will give them that peace. That peace. But peace comes from the inside. Substance abuse cannot solve it. You overwork. Whenever you're being called, oh, now I'm working, oh, I have this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you won't have time for yourself. You won't have time. When people look at you, you look haggard, yet you're making the money. Is it overeating? You know you're filled. Oh no, this piece, it's okay. No, no. You see rice, you eat. You see beans, you eat. You see fufu, you eat. You see yam, you eat. Everything. You see fruit. Oh no, they say fruit is okay. No, fruit is good for the body. You eat. But your food, overeating. It doesn't just come because I want to. These are ways, coping mechanisms we formed. Oh, when I eat, I feel good. As a child, yes, you eat just to feel happy. Maybe when your mother abuses you emotionally or verbally, you see food, you eat, you're happy. You do it the next day, you do it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You form that coping mechanism. So when somebody makes you angry, you find somewhere, you eat. For some people, is they love to shop. When they are not happy, they enter their car, they go to the mall, they pick things they don't need just to make themselves happy. Just to make themselves happy. They buy things they don't need. They spend money just to be happy. But will that happiness last? These are the coping mechanisms. They call you, oh, can you hang out today? No, I'm busy. On Sunday, I'm busy. More, I'm busy. Oh, I'm busy. I have a lot. Then the one that is in vogue now, the one we do, and we don't see them as anything. You see, being on social media, they tell you, oh, let me scroll. Let me just see what's going on. Let me just see. You spend hours. It's not like you're learning. You spend hours. From Facebook, you move into Instagram. These are ways by which we escape from the pain. We see a video, we laugh, ha 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 ha. But that's our problem, still waiting for us. So when the laughter ends, we face it. You lay down your head, it comes in, I still have this problem. Well, okay, you drop your phone. Okay, no, I've scrolled through Instagram. You take your what's it called? Your remote. You flip Netflix, Prime, what the DSTV, all those. These are times. No, I'm not like these are things I did though. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I did, what I went through, what I dealt with. But I had to change the narratives. I had to change my coping mechanisms. I had to find things that are worthwhile to put them into place. We cannot escape. Remember, I said God cannot do for you what you can do for yourself. You can't escape it. It's there. It's there waiting for you. You run, you throttle, you go around the world, the globe, everything. You come back, it's still waiting for you. You see bad attitude, you can't wave it off. You can't wash it off, except you deal with it. And what causes bad attitude? Things that happened to you in the past. Like now that as an adult, you're in control of yourself. Oh, nobody is going to treat me the way they treated me. No, nobody can do me that way. Nobody can talk to me that way. You become hostile. When you talk to people, you see this arrogance. You look at people like they're nothing because you're bringing back what happened to you. That's why you are treating people the way you are treating them. That's not the way you are. That's not who you are. You're a lovable person. Can we just go back to how we were when we were like 3, 4 years? I know a lot of people say, no, I don't remember. When you sit down, you can remember. You can remember that lovely child you were. How you fight for people. Right? So, these are the ways. These are the ways trauma stays with us and affects us in our adulthood. Right? So we have to do better. We have work to do, and it starts with us. Yes. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, peak parenting.
Wow. What a session. What a session. Thank you so much.
I'm so sorry. When it comes to talking about trauma, I don't.
I know, right? I know. When it comes to trauma, I know it's one of the things that we have to actually talk about. And we are actually going to have a course. Okay, these are just some tips and hacks, and you can't really heal with the tips and hacks. Of course, you need to heal. Starting journey, we've all healed. I've been on the healing process. I'm still healing, as I always say. So you don't just attend this class, listen to the tips that we've given you, and then you think, oh, it's enough. You need to want to know more how you can heal. It affects how we are raising our children. So it's very important that as parents, even if you are not a parent, all of us have gone through some trauma one way or the other. And it's very, very
Yeah.
important because it affects our businesses, everything that we do. Okay, everything that we do. Our traumas, the things unresolved traumas actually affect us. So we are going to actually share when the main class is going to come. It's going to be in the second week of April. So you can actually prepare and save some money to be able to purchase that course when we open it up. We all need to heal. Now, don't sit down and say that with time, I'm going to heal. Time heals nothing. It is what you do
Mhm.
with the time that you have. That is what is going to help you heal from your past wounds. So thank you so much, sis. We honor you and thank you for
My
always
pleasure.
coming here whenever we call you. And next week, we are actually going to also give another session next week. So you want to be here, come and listen and share to your family and friends. We all need to heal. Thank you so much for your time. I really
My
appreciate
pleasure. My pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. You can still share this link to your family and friends. They can catch replay and watch it. As I said, we all need to heal from our past wounds. When you heal, that is where you begin to feel the power. You can't always pray about certain things. You can't always be praying because prayer alone won't do the work. Prayer without works won't do anything. And God will not do for a man what a man has to do for himself. God will not do for a man what a man has to do for himself. That is why it's important that we have to take steps to heal in our parenting. Sometimes our children, will do certain things that will get us triggered. We want to react. All those things are as a result of our past hurts. The things that we have been through when you were young, you weren't allowed to cry. Anything when you cry, you are told, why are you crying? You are told to shut up. You don't have the right to be angry. You don't have the right to cry. And these are the things that is happening. Now, even though we didn't like the experiences we had growing up, we still do those things to our children because those are the things that we've experienced. Those are the things we know. We know that you don't have to cry. So when your child is throwing tantrums, when your child is crying, you are so angry. But it's all because of the traumas we've been through. So if you don't heal, you won't be able to raise a wholesome child. Trauma has to end. The generational trauma will end with us. It will end with us. The children that we are raising, we need to raise trauma-free children. And to be able to do that, we have to start now and heal as parents. So we will share all necessary details about the healing course. And the first people, I think that there are going to be some discounts for people who register early. So when we open up that course, try and take it up, save for it, and try and buy it. It's going to be helpful to you. You are going to see a lot of changes in your personal life, in your relationship with others. You won't always want to please people. You won't put yourself last. You will learn why you need to also prioritize yourself, because of course you are also a human being. So we are going to teach, like it's a session that we all need to take. So see you next week. We're also going to bring you another session on healing or trauma next week. So see you next week and enjoy the rest of the day.